Billy Monger's return to racing less than a year after his horrific accident is one of the stories of 2018. Competing in BRDC British F3 with Carlin, the double amputee continues to inspire and impress with 2 podiums to his name already. He joined us exclusively for the day at Autosport to answer your questions. And here's the man himself, Billy. Thanks very much for coming into Autosport today. Obviously, you were racing at the weekend in British F3 at Brands Hatch. Just tell us how that went that weekend.
Yeah, it didn't go too bad, to be honest. Obviously, the Thursday and Friday, most of the teams were testing on the Indy circuit because you can't get the track time around the GP circuit. So Saturday morning was a bit of a learning curve, to say the least. Obviously, going around the back section, feeling the grip. I'd never driven it I hadn't driven it in a single seater for about 2 years, and never in a British F3. So it was definitely, free practice was a learning curve. I think we were 6th in that, and then qualified 3rd. Quite frustrating qualifying was, being 700ths off pole, and one small mistake on my lap compared to the lap before cost me a 10th. So there was the potential for pole there. But overall, Saturday went pretty well. Race 1, I finished 4th. Just Linus got a better start from the outside. At Brands Hatch, starting 1st and 3rd is quite difficult because you're right in the dip on the straight, so it's quite easy to get wheel spin. So, but apart from that, Saturday was quite good.
Yeah, and Sunday, again, I think you got a 5th place in the 3rd race, so sort of a comfortable weekend overall, but a bit disappointing not to get a podium.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the pace was definitely there. Like I say, the pace was there for pole, really, in qualifying, if I'd strung it together, which obviously would have set us up for probably 2 podiums for race 1 and race 3. But 4th and 5th was the good championship points, and yeah, just looking forward to the next 2 rounds now.
And the next round is actually at Donington Park, which is obviously where you had your accident last year. I mean, nervous about going back there, looking forward to it, sort of how are you feeling?
It's a bit of a tricky one, that. I am looking forward to going to Donington because as a circuit I've always enjoyed it. I've always gone well there. Obviously it's going to be a bit weird racing there again because I haven't raced there, like you say, since my accident, but I'm just going to treat it like I would any other circuit. I mean, it's not the circuit's fault that the accident happened there. It could have happened at any other circuit. So yeah, you just got to get on with the job and try and get a pole position. That's the first goal, and then try and get a race win. Yeah,
is that your aim over the next 2 races? Then obviously 2 rounds, Donington, and then the final one again at Silverstone. Try and get a pole position and maybe get the top step of the podium.
That's been the goal all season. It started off really well. We had some bad luck at Rockingham and Snetterton, which set us back in terms of where we're sitting in the championship. But like you say, for race wins and podiums, we've proved we can get podiums. The next one for me is definitely a pole position because I think we've had the pace to be on pole at least 1 or 2 of the last races at Spa and Brands. I think the potential's been there. So now I've just got to make sure we make no mistakes on that lap and get pole, and then it will definitely be a lot easier to try and get on the top step of the podium from there.
Good stuff, brilliant. Right, well, all week we've been asking you guys to send in your questions on social media to Billy using the hashtag AskBilly. So we've got the best questions. So you ready to be put to the test with them?
Ready to go.
So the first one from Tom Groves on Instagram, thanks for sending this in. It says, what did it feel like getting back on the podium at Alton Park? So Alton Park was obviously the first round of the year and first race, and you managed to get a podium. How
yeah, I mean, that was a pretty incredible weekend for me, really. I mean, first race weekend back, obviously you do the pre-season testing, and we did a fair bit because we needed to get used to the controls. They'd never been used before in real life. So I knew going into Alton Park that the pace was strong just from where I could gauge with my teammates, with Nikolai and everyone. But it was, like you say, it's all different when you turn up and you know that it's race day and you've got to deliver. And yeah, getting P3 in the first race back was obviously a shock to the system. I knew we'd be competitive. I didn't know where we'd sit in the field. Obviously the first sort of qualifying and race weekend of the year is where you find out where you stack up against everyone else, really. But no, I was really over the moon with P3 in the first race, and like I say, it was a shock to the system. I don't think me or Carlin were expecting to get such a good result at the start of the season. But yeah, it definitely made the hard work we put in over winter worth it.
I mean, you seemed quite emotional on the podium, and I know a few of the mechanics were as well. Was that? I mean, I guess that was to be expected, but it just must have been overwhelming and a shock, like you say.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know why I got emotional, to be honest, because it's not like I've not been on the podium before, but
Sure, yeah.
I think it was just the whole situation and everything, and I think it was more pride and more than anything the fact that the guys at Carlin worked so hard over winter, and I had to be with them through the whole of winter to watch the work and help them. We had to work as a real team, and I think that, like you say, that sort of emotion just showed through from all of us, from the fact that we got that good result so early on.
Brilliant. Next question from Adam Young. Has your accident affected your driving style?
Driving style, I don't think so. Obviously, the way I drive the cars differently, it's slightly different, but I don't think driving style-wise it's changed a lot. There's some things that I have to do maybe slightly differently to how I did them before, just to suit the controls and everything like that.
Such as what sort of thing?
Yeah, so like with the hand throttle, obviously, the way I grip, say, the steering wheel has to be slightly different because obviously in these cars it's high downforce, high speed. You need to be able to. It's quite a physical car, so you need to be able to hang on to it. And obviously having your hands on paddles rather than just all on the wheel all the time makes sort of your grip strength and way you grip it different.
Because you're using your right hand to accelerate with the paddle on the wheel and your left hand to change up and down on the gears?
No, left hand for throttle. Other way around. So yeah, like you say, most of the time I've got on this hand at least 2 fingers off the wheel the whole time, just to constantly be monitoring the throttle. And then on this side, like you say, when you're doing gears, you get to some point where you've got sort of half your hand off the wheel. So the way I do grip the wheel is slightly differently, but in terms of actually the way the way I drive sort of had to be quick, it's not really that different.
Yeah, well, it's obviously proven in the results. I mean, you're up there at the front and challenging for the podium, so it's sort of obviously not going too bad, is it?
No, not too bad.
Next question from Kate Doubtfire on Twitter is, you're my inspiration. Who is yours?
Inspiration, obviously, from a racing perspective, the one that I take most inspiration from since a kid I have is Lewis, because when I was 9, 10, when I was first sort of starting to win championships in karting, he was winning F1 titles in F1, obviously. So he's the one I take most inspiration from, because at that point in like my career, at that point in my where I was involved in motorsport, at what point I was at, he was the one who was inspiring me and giving me somewhere to kind of get to and achieve. That's where I wanted to be, where he was when he was winning championships in F1. So he's obviously one that I've had for a long time. Recent inspirations, really, obviously Zanardi's been a big one to me since post-accident. So he's been, I had the chance to meet him a month ago or something like that. So that was a really cool experience, and yeah, I definitely take a lot of inspiration from what he did, because he kind of, although it's not exactly the same way I'm doing it, he raced again after having a serious accident like mine. So that for me was definitely a cool thing to see.
Yeah, I think he's making a return to DTM as well this year, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's racing at Misano DTM. I'm potentially going to be out there watching that, so that'd be cool to be able to watch him race and see if he does anything slightly differently to me.
Well, that leads us on to one of the other questions we got sent in from Michael Muggins on Instagram. Thanks for this. He says, what are the chances of you and Zanardi and BMW Motorsport getting together in a GT race? Is that something that you'd want to do, try and team up with him, or? Obviously
that would be a pretty cool experience to be able to race with Alex Zanardi. I mean, like you say, he's, in terms of what he's achieved since his accident, he's won so many races and stuff like that. So, of course, I'd be up for doing a GT race with Alex and BMW. That would be a cool thing to tick off the list.
Definitely. Another question from Miranda Lane. She says, while racing in British F3, you're doing a fantastic season, by the way. You did some commentary on other championships at Thruxton. I think it was the British F4, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Were you nervous, and did you enjoy being on the other side of the camera / microphone?
Of course I was nervous. I mean, like you say, it was definitely out of my comfort zone, to put it that way. When you're a racing driver, you're used to a little bit of media, but in terms of doing commentary, it was obviously a completely different ball game for me. but I really enjoyed it. And to be honest, when you're commentating about something that you've got such an interest in and you know a lot about, it was easier than I thought it was going to be to pick it up, just because you pretty much, I knew most of the guys racing anyway, personally, so it's quite easy to then talk about them when they're racing.
Martin Harrison says, which circuit is your favourite and why?
Which circuit? Racing at Spa was a pretty cool one for me, just because it's Spa, like it's one of the most famous circuits on the planet, so that was obviously a cool one to tick off the list. I like Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit as well. That's, for me, I've always been quick there. When I raced in F4, I think I set a lap record back then in the practices, so I've always gone well and had strong pace there. So I was definitely looking forward to last weekend. It's a shame that we didn't quite have the pace that we had before, but yeah, I'm looking forward to racing there again, hopefully.
So another question from Cornish Tim on Instagram, thanks for this. What goals/achievements have you set yourself short term and long term?
So short term for me, obviously we've just had the mid-season sort of break after Silverstone, which has been a good sort of chance to reflect on everything. For me, I've set myself the goal of winning. I wanted to win 3 races by the end of the season, and that's still the goal. Obviously, I've got 6 left, so it's I've got to
be a good striker
from
the rest of them.
Yeah, I've got to be on top form for the rest of the season. But that was short term, sort of what at the midpoint of the season, what I was aiming for, and it's still more than possible. And then long term goals is obviously F1 World Champion is the long term goal. But yeah, like you say, I think I've got a few years until I'm at that stage, hopefully.
Ewan Dolan on Instagram, had you faced any pushback from your family or friends when you announced you were returning to racing?
There's obviously some sort of some worries about me racing again. My mum was obviously worried that for her it was quite, obviously for my whole family really, it was quite traumatic to see me go through what I went through. So for me to say I want to carry on doing it, it's obviously a bit of a shock to the system for those guys. But no, they've handled it really well, and they just really want to see me achieve what I can. So if I think there's more left for me to achieve in racing, which I clearly do because I'm still doing it, they're just willing to support me, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. One from Bex on Twitter. What's your favourite dinosaur?
Favourite dinosaur?
Are you a Jurassic Park fan?
I've watched Jurassic Park before. I'm going to say a Velociraptor.
Velociraptor.
Because they're pretty quick.
Yeah, have you said, well, yeah, no, definitely. Eva from Autosport, our very own Eva in the office, she wants to know, if you were a biscuit, what biscuit would you be?
What biscuit would I be?
What do you normally eat if you have to choose a biscuit?
I quite like ginger nut biscuits.
Ginger nut,
it's a bit out there, but when I used to go to my grandma's house, that always used to be the first thing on the menu. So yeah, that's me.
Brilliant, great stuff. So we've actually got a few more questions as well. Some of these people that you probably will recognise.
Right, boss. What is the Silver Dream Team? I'll leave it to you.
So that was Jamie Caroline, one of your best mates.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been karting together for a long time. Currently, he was with you at Brands Hatch with Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
So he's asking, what's the Silver Dream Team?
Oh, the Silver Dream Team. That was feels like a long time ago now. So me and Jamie have karted with each other since we were probably about 8, and when we were like sort of probably about 9, 10. Me and him, I don't know how it came up, but we were the Silver Dream Team, and we always had the same kart graphics. We'd always park our campers up next to each other, and it was sort of the Silver Dream Team was just me and Jamie going racing, and that was what we came up with as 9, 10-year-olds, and it seemed to do us quite well. We're still going now, and
do you still use it? Do you still call it to each other when you?
Yeah, sometimes we bring it up with each other. Like I say, it feels like a long time ago since back in the Silver Dream Team days. So we have to maybe have a bit of a reunion and bring it back up again.
Bring it back, definitely, yeah.
Hi Billy, hope you're well. My question to you is that if we're ever on the podium together, will you do another leggy? Because I'm not gonna lie, it was very cool but still kind of disgusting. So yeah, I'm not sure how I'm into that, but yeah, would be interesting to do it again.
So Linus Lundqvist there, current championship leader in British F3. So the leggy, just sort of explain that to us, what it was and how it came about.
Yeah, so the leggy it came about. Obviously, I've like I say, I'm a big F1 fan, so watching Daniel Ricciardo, he always does the shoey, and I've made a lot of friends in the military since my accident that I've had the opportunity to meet. So they've definitely brought me into a few things, and apparently when you're in the military and you have prosthetic legs, quite often it becomes you drink out of them, as those guys seem to do. So I thought, as I got on the podium at Spa, it's obviously a cool place to be on the podium. I thought I'd bring the leggy out, and Linus was obviously the winner, so I thought I might as well get him involved. Would I ever do it again if I was on the podium? Of course I'd do it again. Hopefully next time I'll be on the top step and I'll be the winner, and then I might take a bit of a bigger swig. Yeah. But
I heard that because Tom Gamble was on the podium as well. I heard he wasn't too keen on doing it and sort of drifted away.
Yeah, Tom kind of he dipped out a little bit. I was a bit disappointed. I thought he was going to be more up for it, but it's not that bad. I mean,
you got a good reaction from Daniel Ricciardo on Twitter, though.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah. To get that kind of reaction, and I'm sure if we're on the podium again, I'll definitely make sure they do it with me.
Good stuff. Like you said, top step though, hopefully next time.
Hopefully.
Yeah, good stuff.
Okay, hi Billy. I just wanted to ask you what's your favourite Nando's order is.
So, Carlin teammate there, Nikolai Kiergaard, asking, what's your cheeky Nando's order?
What is my cheeky Nando's order? It changes quite a lot. I like to experiment a bit, but normally 4 chicken thighs, peas and mash. That's my go-to normally.
Standard,
yeah, that's my standard. But
where on the heat scale are you? Sort of?
I'm a medium kind of guy. Yeah, I'm nothing special. I'm not that good with spice, but I'm all right.
How often do you go? Sort of
depends
month,
really.
Whenever you feel in the mood.
Yeah, it depends. So I went with after Brands Hatch at the weekend. I went with my friends, and Jamie went straight down there on the Sunday after race day, and like you say, had a cheeky Nando's. But it depends really.
Yeah. If you win, if you get a win, you're gonna go.
If I win, it's got to be on the menu. It's got to be on the cards. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Hi Billy, do you think you can beat me on the FIFA?
So
Sun Yu Yang, they're asking if you can beat him at FIFA. Do you play it quite a bit?
I play FIFA a little bit. I'd definitely beat him. Unfortunately, Sonny, that's not really much of a competition right there. I've definitely got you there.
Yeah. What team do you support?
I'm a Tottenham fan.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
So is that who you players on FIFA then, or do you?
I'm a big Tottenham fan. Use their players on FIFA. Unfortunately, Sonny wouldn't get a look in.
Right. Brilliant, Billy. So we're on to the last bit, and so we've got it. We've come up with a great name. It's called This or That.
This or That.
Original. And so it's quick fire. So either choose one or the other. So if we rattle through them, so it's Brands Hatch or Spa.
Brands Hatch.
Okay. Oversteer or understeer.
Oversteer.
A dry track turning wet or a wet track turning dry.
A wet track turning dry.
Okay. Halo or no halo.
Halo.
Okay. Hurricane or Deli Alley?
Hurricane.
Good choice. A Sunday roast or a cheeky Nando's?
Cheeky Nando's.
Brown sauce or tomato ketchup on a bacon sandwich?
Tomato ketchup.
Good choice again. Do you prefer to watch films or a TV series?
I'm going to say TV series.
Okay. You watching any at the minute?
I've been watching Power, Suits. Watch a couple.
Everything that's on Netflix, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good stuff. PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
And finally, Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming in. Best luck for the 2 remaining rounds of the season. And thank you for watching, and thanks for sending your questions in. Make sure to keep an eye out on our social media channels, which are on screen now, for more Q&A sessions. But until next time, thanks very much for watching.